Hey, Leon, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear. So, thanks for joining us. So, don't want to take up too much of your time. I know we're a little behind schedule, but jumping in with a quick intro. Holly, she helps grow SaaS businesses and has experience as a leader in digital strategy, e-commerce, strategic sales, management, and advertising. And I'll hand it off to Holly. She'll take us through how to think about and understand the importance of being where the customer is. So, Holly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. As Leon mentioned, my name is Holly Boni, and I am the Director of Sales and Partnerships at Shoppable. Just a quick background, Shoppable is a distributed commerce technology company with a patented suite of APIs that really allow us to power our truly unique multi-retail checkout technology across multiple platforms. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to join the session today. So what we're going to do is really discuss the importance of being wherever your consumer is. So let's start with the biggest buzzword of the last 5 years. You couldn't attend a conference, a webinar, a really exciting sales meeting without hearing the term omni-channel strategy. What's your omni-channel strategy? Do you have an omni-channel strategy? Are you working on your omni-channel strategy? But, the real question is, what is an omni-channel strategy and why is everyone really focused on mastering it? And I think at a high level, the answer really is that an omni-channel strategy means interacting with your consumers and getting your brand, your products in front of them wherever they are at every single touch point. And then taking all of those touch points and really wrapping them up with a bow and creating the most seamless and epic brand story for your consumer. Now, I'm a New Yorker. So up until February, I was constantly surrounded by products, whether that was as I was window shopping in Soho or on the subway and seeing all of those millennial targeted advertisements that are, on my way to work and on my way back from work, or even, those big billboards in Times Square when you have your family in town and they're dragging you down that way for a tourist occasion. But the point is that consumers, no matter where they are constantly being stimulated with branding and they're constantly surrounded by products. And hopefully all of that stimulation, all of those products is really inspiring them to eventually purchase, to eventually spend, to eventually drive revenue. However, with the past 3 months and the pandemic and COVID-19, maybe we're no longer window browsing in Soho. We're no longer taking the subway to work every day. We certainly aren't having out-of-town visitors come to New York and drag us through Times Square. But what we are doing is staying at home. And for the most part, not doing too much. So all of those touch points that really happen outside of home are now being replaced with a heavy focus on e-commerce. So the need to really focus in on that e-commerce omni-channel strategy and focus on hitting your consumer at all of those touch points via e-commerce heightened. Now, I'm sure we're all hopeful that this pandemic is going to end at some point, but that consumer behavior is not. So the need to really focus in on that e-commerce strategy is not going to go away. Now, the fact is we're here to talk about e-commerce. And one of the beautiful things about e-commerce is that it's convenient. I can buy my pet food and my hair care and my makeup and my groceries all from the comfort of my own home. I don't even need to leave the couch. Someone will deliver it to me. But I think that we would all be foolish to assume that just because the idea of e-commerce is so convenient, that doesn't mean that there aren't barriers on that path to purchase within e-commerce. So what we really have to do today is take it beyond an e-commerce strategy, beyond just getting your products and your branding in front of the consumer wherever they are. But we now have to take it to focus on being where they are and making it convenient. Now, I don't think it's a secret to anyone that some of the biggest leaders in the tech and commerce space have not only taken a notice of the importance, but they've also turned it into a priority. You know, over the last 18 months, we have seen the launch of Instagram native checkout. We've seen Google shopping actions occur. And now we're seeing the rise of Facebook shops. And what these platforms have truly done with these innovative initiatives is create a distributed checkout experience for their consumers. And that's actually what Shoppable has been doing since about 2011. Sorry. So what brands need to understand is that with the launch of all of these really exciting, that means that, consumers are now not only wanting that convenience, they're not only wanting the ability to shop and transact wherever they are, but the success and the expansion of those platforms is really showing that they don't only want it, they're being trained to expect it. So for brands, they have to find a way to really capitalize on that idea of convenience. If brands aren't able to bring that convenience to their consumer, they're going to leave, and they're going to leave quickly. Now, think about it. It's happened to all of us. Just the other week, I was on the hunt for a product that would tame my girls. It's summer, it's hot. Everyone's staying in their home. They're not too worried about, doing a flat iron. So I was online and I was looking for that epic product and found myself on a publishing site with some recommendations. And at that point, I was bought in. I was ready to spend money after seeing a few products that really seemed like they were going to be a great fit for me. So went and I clicked on it. And when I redirected to the brand site, it was out of stock. Huge bummer, not the end of the world. Something must have just happened in the connection between the brand site and the publishing, but it was okay. I was able to have the other products. So went back to where I started. And unfortunately, what happened was the page that I was on, it reloaded. It took me back to the original home page. So I had to find the article, find that product, and then eventually, once I got to it, redirect to the brand site that I wanted to check out on to purchase the second product. Well, unfortunately, when I got there, I realized that I had to put in my name, my email, the name of my firstborn child, pretty much everything in order to get to the point where I could eventually transact on that brand site. By that point, I was, 30, 40 clicks in. I was fresh on product number 2 that wasn't easily to be purchased. So what did I do? I left, and it happens all the time. Consumers are not getting that frictionless commerce experience in that moment that they feel inspired to shop. So what they're doing is they're choosing nothing. So the question that is on everyone's mind is, yeah, we get it. We hear omni-channel strategy all the time. We hear that we need to make it convenient, but how do we do that? And, there are a ton of amazing startups that are speaking at this event. There are a ton of legacy companies that are making big strides in this idea of omni-channel strategy and reaching the consumer wherever they are. And, maybe that's through engaging content with really, really great products and really great content. Maybe it's interactive advertisements. Maybe it is, tech integration level. Shoppable, we have a partnership with Pinterest, and we are super excited about the work that they're currently doing with Shopify to integrate all of those Shopify merchants into the Pinterest platform and make all of those transactions easy and seamless. So there's so much currently going on. But what I'm here to tell you a little bit about is how Shoppable has made it easy, and what we've learned with our ecosystem of brands and publishers and CPGs. So as I mentioned before, Shoppable is a distributed e-commerce technology company. We were founded in 2011, and we created and patented the universal checkout technology. So what that means is, unlike some of the big leaders like Google Shopping or Instagram or Facebook, Shoppable is actually able to license our technology to brands, advertisers, publishers, marketplaces, essentially anyone that wants to create that e-commerce experience right there, native, but not necessarily have to worry about the inventory, the processing, the shipping, the fulfillment. We're able to offer them a multi-retailer checkout that when a consumer goes to that third-party site, they can add one product or two products from one retailer or two retailers. But ultimately, they are able to check out right there in that experience. So we are truly closing the loop and creating the ability for consumers to not only find products wherever they are, but conveniently check out a single time, taking those clicks from the 30 that I experienced with the hair care product down to 3 or 4. Now, I know when I talk about it, a lot of people are like, yeah, I get what you're saying, universal checkout, multi-retail checkout, but what does that actually mean? What does it look like? And I'm sure a lot of you guys have spent time on Google Shopping Actions, or you've bought something on Instagram native checkout. But what Shoppable can do is take that experience and license it to our clients. So a client of ours that I'd really love to highlight is Greenies. You know, Greenies is a very popular pet food brand. And like most in the CPG space, they are manufacturers. They don't necessarily have a direct-to-consumer option. They don't do their own fulfillment. So they're relying on their retail partners to fulfill those orders. But at the same time, they want things to be seamless. They want everything to happen on greenies.com. And that's in. So as a consumer, you know, you go to greenies.com and you find your real peanut butter flavor capsules for your dog. And you're able to actually add that product directly to a cart that lives right here on greenies.com. You then have the opportunity to choose whichever retailer you want to fulfill that order. So for Greenies, for the Greenies consumer, maybe it's Walmart, maybe it's Petco, maybe it's Chewy. It is that consumer's choice. But ultimately, they still get to fulfill that order and transact for that order without a million clicks. It is happening right here on the site. And you'll notice that the consumer does see like, okay, Walmart is fulfilling my order, but I do have the opportunity to check out right here and make it easy. At the end of the experience, they never have to leave. It is right here. So for Greenies, they have full visibility into their sales funnel. They're really able to understand their consumer and how they're behaving. And for the retail partner, this is incremental revenue. This is revenue that maybe they would not have gotten had their product catalogs not been uploaded to greenies.com. Now, I need you all to use your imagination a little bit because, you know, this is a single use case and this is a very specific pet CPG site. But use your imagination because this technology, Shoppable's APIs, can essentially be put anywhere. You know, they can be put via social media. They can be put in a shoppable video or shoppable TV or shoppable advertisements. Publishing sites, you know, Meredith Corp are using them to create native e-commerce on their sites. Or as we go back to school, we have clients that are looking to find ways to help children that are trying to figure out how they're going to get their school supplies. How are they going to really be prepared for the school year? Use your imagination, because at the end of the day, it really can be used across multiple platforms and multiple verticals. Now, this isn't necessarily just a shoppable conversation. I think that the really important lessons that we need to take away from this, the importance of meeting your consumer at where they are, is just that. So it doesn't necessarily matter what vendor you're using to facilitate your e-commerce, or what vendor you're using to get a little bit further up the funnel or a little bit further down the funnel. What's most important is that people understand that need for convenience and that need to really grasp the consumer is so important in the e-commerce space. It's just like if you go to Target or Dwayne Reed and you're standing in line and you see Snickers and baby hand sanitizers and makeup wipes. The idea that they have used is, oh, it's right here. It's easy. They're going to pick it up and they're going to spend more money. That is the exact same concept that needs to be translated to e-commerce. We have them engaged. How do we get them to transact? And that is through convenience. And the fact of the matter is that it's all in the results. From the shoppable side of things, what I can say is with our distributed e-commerce channels, we see upwards of a 6% conversion rate for non-D2C brands and publishers. So that means that even though they don't hold their own fulfillment, even though that they're relying on their partners to help them with that, we are able to facilitate a 6% conversion rate. And with our newest checkout, we've seen a 250% increase in transactions. So that means because the consumer doesn't have to put in those extra clicks, they don't have to keep searching and searching and searching and hoping that they get there, there's a 250% increase in those transactions. And, over Q2, where people were stuck inside, they were browsing, Shoppable actually saw a 100% increase across our revenue within the quarter itself. And again, this isn't just a shoppable conversation. While I'd like it to be, let's highlight the other big wins of the idea of distribution within the e-commerce channels. In Q4 last year, Google saw a 34% increase in their clicks. And that goes just beyond commerce. That means more interaction, more engagement, more impressions. TikTok, over the last couple of weeks, they released their TikTok for business. TikTok is having a major moment right now, and they know that this is the time to capture the idea of shoppable actions, getting that consumer engaged when they're in that moment. Huge brands such as Sephora, Kylie Cosmetics, and Adidas, they have Instagram native checkout. They have that as part of their strategy. If it didn't make sense to capture your consumers at different parts in the funnel, these major brands would not be investing in that. And lastly, SMBs have really taken the focus of Facebook Shops. While the larger companies are able to take advantage of it, of course, smaller businesses, maybe I create really amazing scarves in my basement. They have the ability to get their products across major distribution channels. So it really does go to show that it doesn't matter if you're a major retailer like Target or Best Buy, or someone, sewing scarves in their basement. The need to work your way up and down the funnel and get your products and your brand in front of your consumer at all points is so important.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Holly, for that. I think it's such a powerful platform, and thank you for taking us through it today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I know we're a little bit behind on time, so if we need to take the questions to the sessions, happy to do that.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's move the Q&A to the sessions tab on the left. It's a button. You just click. And we'll make sure to connect you with the folks who are interested in learning more about Shopify at the end of, or Shoppable at the end of the conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you so much.